Yes, my name is Kenneth Loch of the TENNISSANCE method. Just want to get into what I'm calling tennis and physical education. What I'm thinking here is that the TENNISSANCE method and the work that I'm doing will bring physical education kind of into the 21st century. And the idea of this renaissance and the idea of how, to say, a renewal, actually reformation, say, of education when it comes to, let's just say, physical education. It turns out that, let's see, I'm providing the first opportunity for physical educators to teach their students what an exercise is. And the idea that the science that's associated with, say, with exercise, and then basically it would be like kinesiology. And it turns out that say tennis right now, it hasn't really come over to this yet. And who I'm claiming to be is actually the first teacher who can actually provide this education. And let's see, and the whole idea of how it's just a game changer. And what has, say, tennis players been learning? Well, they've been learning the sport, and it turns out that when it comes to, say, just say exercise, really it turns out what I discovered is that the sport is, in a sense, the complete opposite of the exercise, say, of tennis. So it's the complete opposite. Or just say everything that the sport is, the exercise isn't. So the idea there is the difficulty that I'm going to have making this happen. The idea that how people have been just, in a sense, conditioned, in a sense, programmed with this perspective. It's kind of a perspective. It's a sports perspective, but then when it comes to education, it's a specialized perspective. So the idea that when we look at sports, we look at them, say, individually, and then the idea that those who participate at sports will lend themselves over to where they develop, they become serious, say, at one sport. So the basis of that specialization. So the 21st century education, physical education, is going to come over to interdisciplinary perspective, and the idea of ultimately what a discipline actually is, and then a student becoming disciplined, and then the idea of how they will benefit from that whole relationship. And the idea of when, say, children become students and they learn how to exercise, they will be exercising, which means that they will be developing their bodies. And the idea that when it comes to tennis, the idea that the TENNISSANCE method is kind of in a sense, the ambidextrous exercise. The idea that students will become ambidextrous, and then as the result of, say, that discipline, being able to accomplish that, the benefits is that they become physically coordinated. And let me get in the idea that, say, cooperative education. So physical education, cooperative education, and this is where students learn how to exercise and then perform the exercise, and that performance is, the focus of it is to develop say a oneness with your whole body, and through when it comes to tennis, being able to develop where you are, say, proficient with both arms, and are able to demonstrate that proficiency, and then the idea that ultimately what I'm bringing tennis over to is where we understand it as an exercise, but then also an art form. So when it comes to physical education, then ultimately it will cross over with an arts education, and the idea of dance, say, movement. So the idea of becoming an artist with movement, it'd be what they call an art performance, and then also an exercise performance, and how the two are interrelated. And then who I represent is somebody who is evolved when it comes to this, and when it comes to the arts, also proficient at painting and abstract composition, similar to like say like a Jackson Pollock, where it goes into kind of the metaphysics and spirituality, and the idea that when tennis is recognized as an exercise, mind-body exercise, where the mind and body, and the body is whole, then the idea of holistic, then we can understand the nature of spirituality, metaphysics, the nature of a kind of a conscious, unconscious relationship, and then with the nature of how tennis and is a flow. It's actually based on being conscious of the exercise, but then the idea is that in the process of exercising, the practice is where you actually have the opportunity to be spiritual and develop a relationship which is based on, say, metaphysical principles. See if there's anything else. Physical education and tennis. It just turns out that, like, just say the professional tennis players, I have to say that one thing they have in common is that they failed to receive a physical education. And yeah, and a few other people, but now the TENNISSANCE method is providing some insight to how this goes about itself, and then with me doing some videos and talking about this, possibly with my effort and maybe some other people's effort, we can bring physical education into the 21st century. Yeah, I just wanted to put this down. I hope you got something from it. Thank you.